Seth Winger at the Winger Insurance Agency, Barrington Firearms and Training Center, DW2 Drywall, Gilbert's Carpets plus Color Tile, the Monk Janowitz Funeral Home in Big Rapids, and the Janowitz Family Funeral Homes in Remus, Lakeview, and Paris Hills.
Yeah.
All right, here we are.
When
We're on right now. For a second, yeah.
Well, don't get excited.
You're
about
out to
it.
America.
We should be excited. We woke up again.
Yeah.
You look good. It's been a few weeks I've been gone there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had fun
Great
too,
for
though.
Pat Curry. Yeah.
There's a lot of stories, but we don't have time for all of them today. Some other day I'll bring that experience in. But on my way home, I was listening to Dan Bongino. Have you ever listened to him?
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty interesting. Do you like him, Bob?
Huh? Yeah, you know, he's in the vein of Rush Limbaugh. You know.
Oh, okay.
Where
a lot he speaks is really the truth, though, isn't it? I mean, I know some guys probably.
I like Alex Jones, but we can go there.
Who's that? Who's Alex?
He's far-right conspiracy theorist, but he likes to scream a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're going to try to have some fun here this morning. Bruce Borkovich was supposed to come in this morning. I don't know where he's at, but we can do without him. Last week's program was with Jason and him, right?
Yep, it was.
They did a nice job.
Yeah.
I listened to it down in Florida. They did a real nice job, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been on Jason a little bit here of late, but he is a good young man, you know. And when you say that young, I mean, he's in his 40s, you know. And he's got a lot on his shoulders right now up there in Green Township. So I give him credit, man, for a young guy to take what he's taking right now, and he's trying to do the best he can. And that's another subject someday. But, you know, everybody tries to do the best they can. I know we all have our critics and stuff, but I've always tried to have a lot of fun in my life. And now that I get older, I want the younger people to loosen up a little bit and have fun. And a lot of them are. Their kids are in sports, and they're just living the dream. My granddaughter, Mad Dog, I call her, Maddie Curry there. She's a pitcher at 14 years old, and I'm so proud of her. You know, I mean, she's going to have a lot of fun the next 4 or 5 years after that. You know, she's going to have to go in the real world, I call it. After high school, it's real world, isn't it, Van? I got Van Johnson with me this morning. Everybody knows Van. Been around a long time. And I jump from subject to subject, Van. I could talk to you about your younger years where you and I met on New Costa Avenue.
Right.
You lived with Brother Jim and Uncle Gordy.
Yep.
Out to Shepherd's there. And, I talk about people that really made this town better, and you're one of those guys. And it just didn't come out of a shoebox. The reason you're good and the reason you have a heart is because at the beginning of life, you had to make your own heart, make your own destination, because nobody gave you a golden spoon. You didn't come with a lot of money behind you saying, look at what I'm driving at 16 years old, brand new pickup. I don't know if you had a car at 16.
No.
I know I had to buy my first car at 25, but that generation has helped build America. And I watched you and your brother Jim start off with nothing, and now you have something through what you worked for.
Correct.
You were at the city, I remember, with a shovel, and I remember you worked for Burt Myers with a shovel, and I thought, wow, that kid's got good work ethic. I was driving a wrecker at that time for my dad. And then all of a sudden, you go to work for the city, and you got on the backhoe, and you started digging trenches and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, you get a promotion. Well, why'd you get a promotion? We can talk about that, too. I think you got a promotion because of your work ethic.
Correct.
Showed them what you want. You could do better than just with a shovel. And you ended up being director of the garage over there, looking over how many guys did you have?
We had 17-man crew.
Yeah.
Over there.
And, over the years, we could talk about the Krabowskis over there, Frank Fitzgerald over there, Craig McDonald. They just had a ceremony for him, a celebration of life Saturday. I'm sure you went to it.
Yep. Then we had Jack Halber over there that was over me for the longest time. So.
Yeah, he was your boss.
Yes, he was.
And then you took his job?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Jack Halber there. He taught us all quite a bit about fixing all them water pipes and stuff and everything else in town. So.
Yeah. Well, Jake's doing it now, Walston.
Yep. He's doing a great job.
He is doing a good job. But he'll often call you yet on projects, won't he, where a water main might be or whatever? I mean,
Yep.
you two, well, he's like your stepson, really.
Yep. He calls me once in a while when we pick my brain a little bit. So,
Yeah. Before we get going, we're going to go for an hour and a half here, if it's all right with you. You got time? Because I want to talk about a lot of stuff. You really knowledgeable on the underground piping here in Big Rapids, or whatever you want to call it. What would you call that? Just infrastructure of Big Rapids?
yeah, the infrastructure and plus all the distribution systems. You got the storm and you got the sanitary, and plus you got all the water mains and everything. So
Is everything written down?
yeah, we have a lot of information. We've been taking information down for a lot of years.
Right. But did they do that when they put it in? Because I know a lot of times I've heard throughout the years, well, call Van, he'll tell you where it's at. Well, why should I have to call Van? Don't you have it right to City Hall?
Well, sometimes some things, used to, get misplaced like everywhere else, and sometimes they don't want, you might want find it quicker or something like that. And you can remember a lot of things, and it's easier to make a phone call than to dig through all the archives.
Right. Well, like on State Street, the last 10 years, probably
Right.
longer, you can talk about that popping up like at Perry and State. You had a leak there. Well, what is that main, and how big is that? Is it cast, or what is that?
It's a cast iron main. It's a 12-inch. If I remember right, it was put in the early 50s or earlier than that. I'm not exactly sure the date. But you get a lot of ground movement that causes that cast iron, and then doesn't move with the ground. So it snaps it, or it could be, it all depends how bad the ground is, too. The acidity in the dirt will eat that pipe up and weakens it up, and you have a stone laying next to it. It'll actually, the vibration of the water going through the pipe will blow a hole in the water main.
So when they put that in there, did they fill it with sand, or did they just throw dirt back on it and clay?
Well, they didn't put much sand back over it. They buried it back in clay and loamy dirt, and so it's originally just the dirt there. So
Yeah. What? Let me see here. Let's see here. Let me do something here. I wanted to call. Let's see. Oh, good. It's on, Ben. I'm going to have Tom Kuntz call in, because the reason I'm going to have him call in, because there's a lot going on in Lansing right now, and he's got a meeting at 9 o'clock, so we're going to talk to him for about 15 minutes. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want people to be aware of what's going down in Lansing. So many times we got people running for governor right now, and I'd like to see Eric Nesbitt get it, because Eric's a down-to-earth, good farm boy. His grandfather started it back years ago down southeast Michigan. Well, that doesn't mean he's going to be a great governor just because his grandpa started the farm. But what it does mean, he's got work ethic, and he understands the blue collar, and I think the government is forgetting about the blue collar people today. Right? You understand that, Bob? You're not going along with me on that? But anyway, I think you are. But I think Eric Nesbitt would be a good addition to our state capitol. And a lot of times these people grow up in a home that got a gate in front of their driveway, and they're in a gated community. Nothing wrong with that. But they're the same people say we shouldn't have gates around America. You know what I mean? And not all of them I know, but he comes from the dirt, and we have a chance right now to change our government in the state of Michigan, and I just think Eric Nesbitt would be good. And I think Tom Kuntz from Clare has done a really, really good job for us right now. I call him right now, but over the few years that I've been around involved with the kind of like the politics of Mecosta County and this and that, we have a pretty good group of commissioners right now. Not that we didn't before, because they did what they thought was best.
Right.
And so I applaud them for that. But like right now, we got Randy Laprise that just got appointed. He'll have to run for that position, I believe, this year yet. And Randy's a great addition to the commission. I mean, he brings a lot of history of Mecosta County. He's a Morty Stanwood graduate. I think he graduated in 74 or 75, so you can tell how old he is now, but he's involved with Whitetail.
Right.
Got to be a good guy if you're involved with the Whitetail, right? You know Randy very well?
Yep, I know Randy. They had their Whitetails thing at the Eagles Club this year. They have been coming there for quite a few years for doing it there.
Right.
So they have.
Yeah.
Last time, just recently, they had over 300 people there for that reception.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think it's good to talk about it, Bob. What do you think?
I don't think anything. That's a rule. I stay out of these conversations.
0139 231. Shit.
Thanks.
Hey, Dan says that. How does he get away with it? 592.
Dan who?
Bongiorno.
Oh, well, he can say it. It's not our license.
Well, I know it, but he's got a license, doesn't he?
I mean, he's got lots of licenses.
Oh, he does? Oh, so he can go through and throw
Well,
one
you know
out,
what? If somebody wanted to challenge them. And
do you like my new hat I got on today?
File it, and
I got it out of the archives. My hat.
Yeah, I see that.
Is it on Facebook?
It is.
I bet Doug and Roxanne are watching right now, just getting high off this hat.
Yeah.
You can buy it at Zot's Bar and Grill. They're our sponsor on our sports show on Wednesday.
Yep.
And I thought I'd wear it on
Nice
Tuesday.
to bring the merch in.
Just to get ready.
You need to also actually talk to Jen. We should get some, Curries Corner merch to sell.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
don't know if it'd sell that good. But anyway, I'm taking off because it's getting kind of warm. I'll put it right there so I can look smile. But anyway, Tom Kuntz is going to call. He's got a meeting. I thought I gave him my number. Why don't you call him? You want to call him, Bob, for me?
I could.
All right, now I'm going to get you his information. Well, hell, I'm calling it right now. All right, let me see here. Let me.
Okay, hold on. We can't put that on the air.
Oh, here he is, right here.
No. Oh, okay.
Hey, Tom.
Hi, Curry.
Yeah, hey, call the gas station. Call the radio station here.
That number you gave me doesn't work.
231-592-1039.
Yep. 1039. I'll try it again right now. Okay.
Thank you, Tom. Bye. Yeah, he's a good guy.
If not, we'll call him.
Yeah, if not, we'll call him. But anyway, Van, I know you're here, and we'll just kind of throw it in right now. The meat bundle raffle.
Okay.
Here he comes. He's calling right now. Then we'll talk
Hi,
about
Tom.
it.
You're on the air.
Hey, how are you?
You're on the air. I can't hear you, though.
You got to put your headphones on, Dad.
Oh, oh, my God.
So one day we're going to teach you radio.
I'll tell you. Well, the 3 weeks I had off there and went down to
and you're the
Florida.
one making sure everybody else in the studio has their headphones
God,
on.
I know. Well, I had it on, I thought. But,
there you go. Yeah.
I drove home. It took 3 days, and believe me, it's a long drive, so I'm still recuperating from that long drive. But that's no excuse, I know. Good morning, Tom.
Morning, sir. Thanks for having me.
Oh, God bless you. I appreciate it. I know I tell everybody I called you the other night, and I said, you know what? There's a lot of bills going on in Lansing right now. Take it away.
Oh, geez. The big news right now is the budget, and I'm really happy. Last year I think it was kind of some posturing, and I was that the budget done until October 1st. This year that's not the case. The House already passed out their budget. The Senate's going to have their budget out this week. Looks like I'm excited that there's some hey, we got to get this done. There's some importance to that. There's some urgency. So it looks good. Of course, there's differences in it. The governor proposed an $88 billion budget, which is wow. That's a big and maybe that's a negotiating point. Hers had some new taxes in it. Hers had some. We call it the rainy day fund. It's basically some money in the bank. You put it in there in case you got a little. Just like you do at home. If you got an extra $20, we'll put it in the bank because you might need it next week. But that's kind of dead on arrival. There's no scenario, I don't see how it gets through the House raising taxes. I just don't see how that goes. So now the discussion, excuse me, now the discussions will start. So, budget's a big one. It's been pretty quiet. There's bills moving through the House and they go over and sit in the Senate. And there's bills moving through the Senate, and they come over here and sit in the House. And I think what's going to happen is sooner or later, okay, let's cut a deal. You pick the 30 bills you want to move, and we'll pick the 30 bills we want to move, and see if we can get any of these going. So that's kind of what happened last year. But, we'll see. It's an election year, so we'll get that budget done. And then off to the races, July, the primary is 98 days or something, which is amazing. So...
All right, I'll chime in. New taxes. The middle class right now is taxed to death. And I know it sounds like an old song, but it's got to stop. And it's got to stop in Lansing. Right. One of you guys has got to start reform, saying no more taxes. Because you know what? let's stop for a minute. What services does the government give us? All right, first and foremost, police protection. And I don't see our police getting any bigger. They stay flat. I know they get what they got to get to protect us, but if all hell broke out loose, I hope we have enough of them. That's the number one priority, I think, with anybody. Number two, fire. I think fire departments should be funded. I think they are being funded. I think we have a great fire department in Big Rapids. They've got together townships, so I think we're saving a little money there. But if nothing else, it's not costing us any more money. That's number two. Number three, roads. We have probably the worst roads in the Union. I just came back from Florida. Indiana, I would have to give number one. Number two, South and North Carolina tie. West Virginia, right in there, very good. Florida obviously doesn't have the frost that we have, so Florida's out of the equation because you really can't compare them. But when Indiana, they have some pretty bad weather, but when their roads are smooth as glass, then you jump on 69 into Michigan, and the first thing you do is hit a pothole and say, welcome to pure Michigan. That's kind of an embarrassment to us as a whole, anybody in business. But anyway, and on 94, I'm going around potholes. Hell, it wasn't that long ago they redid the road. And then you go into to the rest area in Galesburg, and there's 3 homeless people there at the gate wanting money at 8:30 in the morning. No other state has that. Florida, you can't. I didn't see a homeless person down in Florida. I guess they can't be out. I don't know. I'm sure there is. I know I'm sounding negative, Tom, but I'm just telling you, if you want to go to the floor and tell your constituents what's going on, people are fed up with it. When you're in, I got my taxes done here, corporate taxes done last year, and I owe more money, and I don't know how to owe more money because the profit was down. Everything we have, all our merchandise, there's no profit in gas right now. Gas is at $4.30 average in the state of Michigan. And I see, and this is coming from a gas station guy, we're making zilch on it. So if you buy 10,000 gallons at $4.20 a gallon wholesale, figure that what that costs us to put in the tank. And then if those jacks go down tomorrow, we got all this gas in the tank at $4.20. It's ridiculous. So then the governor sits there and say, we're looking at more taxes. I'm fed up with it. I'm 72 years old, and I've never seen it as bad as it is today. But the rich keep getting richer, and I can see where those liberals out there are sitting there going, we got to be more fair. Well, I don't know if we have to be more fair, but I think we should live with a conscience on how much money do we really need. You go to a budget, and I always get a kick out of it because these people, they live in a gated community, and they get a guaranteed check from the government, and there's getting more and more of them, as you well know. There's always more agencies around here trying to take care of the poor. Well, hell, we're almost all poor. But anyway, there you go, Tom. That's my thought. Police, fire, roads.
Let me try and tackle some of those.
Yeah,
all right?
Thank you.
Roads. So I'm the only engineer in the legislature, House or Senate, red or blue. I'm the only engineer, and I was intimately involved in the road plan. So all 4 bills were mine last session, and we just didn't get. The governor ran on fix the roads. So we're working with the governor's team. They just didn't get anything done. We reintroduced them this year. One of them was mine. I gave 3 of them away. I'm trying to be a good teammate. But like Mecosta County, here's the number, Pat. I tell you what, I'll buy you. If you know the number, how much more money is Mecosta County going to get this year for roads?
I would hope. I won't be facetious here. I'll say 300,000.
$3 million. $3,006,000. That's Mecosta County, right?
Yeah.
So this is where, but now it takes time. If you say, well, I got to build a new road. Oh, that's fine. How much money is the city of Big Rapids going to get this year?
Wow.
Just the city now.
$750,000.
$360,000. So, and that's in addition. That's not a one-time funding. That's in addition to it. So, I hear what you're saying. I look at Ohio and say, well, damn it all, how come Ohio can have better roads than we can? when you look at it, they've been spending like $1.2 billion a year more on roads for the last decade. Well, there it is. We're just not doing it. So you understand gas pricing better than anybody, certainly better than anybody on this call, but we used to pay a sales tax on gasoline, right? You'd go buy a gallon of gas at $3, and they'd put 18 cents of sales tax on it. The sales tax would go in the general fund, all right? Well, we changed that. So now everything goes into the road fund. Whatever you pay at the pump, whatever taxes you pay at the pump, goes to the roads, and that's where this new money is coming from. So it just started January 1st of this year. So I mean, I'm happy with it, but I'm like, gosh, we should have done this years ago. And you know, things move slow in Lansing, but they're moving. I'm really happy about that. And if anybody wants this, if anybody wants to see the entire breakdown of every city, you know, Baldwin is going to, hold on, it's a spreadsheet. Baldwin's going to need an extra $70,000. Well, that's great. You know, this is good for everybody. Cities and counties get it. If anybody wants this information, email me, and I'll send you the spreadsheet. It's just great because it breaks it right down. So that's going. When it gets into taxes, it's never enough, Pat. No. It doesn't matter that when the governor took over, we had a $48 billion budget, and now 8 years later, she proposed an $88 billion budget, from $48 to $88 billion in 8 years. Excuse me. Proposing another $800 million in taxes, and it's all, they call it sin taxes. It's cigarettes. Oh, I think it was vape. I don't even remember what it was. And I said, I don't need to know. I don't care. I don't care what it is. No more. If there's any new taxes, I can't vote for it.
Right.
And you're exactly right. We just keep getting squeezed, everybody. You know, now, again, you're about 3 tax brackets up from where I'm at, but...
Oh, yeah. You are a comedian. We need to laugh in here. That's cool, though. I like that.
But so I hear what you're saying. I'm with you. I'm frustrated.
I know you are. I know you are.
Come on, we've been talking about this for 8 years. Well, now it's coming. So
where in the hell is she? I know you got to get going.
I'm glad we're going.
Where would she spend all this money? I mean, $48 billion to $88 billion in 8 years. Where in the heck is she going to spend all this money, Tom? She has to have it designated someplace.
Well, of course, and every dollar gets accounted for. But this is the amazing part. You know, 3 years ago, of course, we come out of COVID, and the federal government's just printing money.
Yeah.
The state of Michigan had a $9 billion surplus. $9 billion surplus.
Wow.
None of it went to roads. None of it went to the teacher's pension is underfunded by $30 billion. MIPSers, they call it.
Wow.
None of it went to that. And it just gets, you know, they're spending other people's money. And if you've ever been on a committee, if you've been on a board, you spend other people's money differently than you spend your own.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they just blew through that $9 billion. And now we're looking at raising taxes to cover the budget. And that's just embarrassing. So we look at DHHS is 40% of the state budget. That's not quite half.
Wow.
But it never goes down. Nothing ever goes away. You know, there's no such thing as a temporary government program, because once it starts, then every year, every department comes into my office. You know, people. I'm gonna get a little bit off topic here. Tell Bob to give me some rope.
No, that's good. Go ahead.
People talk about the lobbyists. Yep. You know, the Farm Bureau. Farm Bureau has a lobbyist, and yep, I meet with a Farm Bureau lobbyist. So okay, whatever. You know what the worst lobbyists are in Lansing? It's the departments. Because the DHHS comes in here, all these different departments, there's 16 different departments, and every one of them every year says the same thing. We need more money, we need more people. More money, more people. Never has a department come in here, now I've only been here 3 years, but never have they come in and said, you know what, we're going to be more efficient. We don't need any more money. I've never heard of that. That just doesn't happen. So, anyways, that's my problem. We're just not. Government's just not efficient. And then, sorry,
No, you're good. I love it.
Well, and then somebody steps up and says, you know, the government should be in charge of health care. Like, oh, no. What does the government do well? Right. They don't do anything well. We can't put them in charge of something else. So,
you know,
anyway.
What gets me is, as you do fulfill everything you say. But these other guys will tell you one thing, and then all of a sudden you see them voting, and they'll say, well, there's more in that. There was more into it than you read in the package of the bill. There were some things in there that was really good in that bill. They do a lot of that, don't they? They'll say, like, well, we'll give you this here if you give us that there. And that should stop. There shouldn't be that stuff. There shouldn't be a collaboration of good and bad. I mean, that's how they get this stuff passed. I mean, like you go to the floor and you'll say, all right, I want this horse bill passed. Well, we'll pass that bill, Tom, if you give us this over here.
Oh, there you go. Now you're making the sausage. So one thing Michigan does really well is every bill has to be a single issue, okay? So if you say, I want to outlaw blue shirts and I want to mandate red shirts, or pick anything. I want to outlaw Pepsi and mandate Coke, or we can do any I'm just making up the issues.
Yeah.
Well, you have to have one bill that says no more blue shirts, and then a totally separate bill that says only red shirts. So it's not like the federal government where they have these 600-page bills that, nobody knows what's in, and they put all that you have to pass it to see what's in it type thing. No, Michigan does really well. So you're right. There's still horse trade, literally that term, but I don't know how to get around that. There's 110 of us in the House, and we all think we're working on something important.
How many, real quick, because I know you got to get going. Oh, it's 103.9 at 9 o'clock, top of the hour. I had to say that.
WBZX Big Rapids. There you
Bob
go.
loves saying it.
But I have to say it the right way.
I know, but I got my train of thought. Don't throw me off.
I'm trying to do my radio voice. Now, 103.9 with the Pat Curry Radio Show.
There you go.
How'd I do, Bob?
You got the gig.
Okay, awesome.
If this government thing doesn't work out, just come and talk to us there.
I appreciate it. I got a face for radio, man. I'll be there.
One question for me, and I had no audience calling in this morning, but how many lobbyists and employees of lobbyists is there in Michigan?
Oh, gosh, that's a great... I don't know. I don't know. But here's, more than you'd think.
I know there is.
Every group has got a lobbyist. So people say, oh, lobbyists are bad. Well, wait a minute now. How about the Michigan, Conservation Club? Or how about the, there's a lobbyist for the Second Amendment. Okay. Well, there's, I already talked about Farm Bureau, but I've met with the corn growers, and there's a soybean lobby. There's a septic tank group. There's a people out there that say, no, wait a minute. Every topic has got somebody advocating for it. So,
how long has that been going on? Do you know how many years that's been going on? Is it 60s, 70s lobbies?
It'll be 250 here on July 4th.
Of lobbyists?
Yeah, ever since we've had government. That's just the thing. People, there's always a group. But, listen, what do you think the MEA is?
Oh,
Michigan
I know.
Education Association is a lobbying group.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I've met with the MEA. Well, because they come in, hey, have you considered this? Most of the time, lobbyists are good, honorable people that just they want to talk about, today is Library Advocacy Day. Okay, so I'm going to meet with some they want a lobbyist. Oh, my 9 o'clock's here. So I don't know if there is a number. There's a bunch of them, so...
Well, I know you got to go, and we appreciate you coming on. You know what? I'm going to call you back next Tuesday, too.
Hey,
you're a lot of fun to talk to, and I have a lot more questions. And I think the questions I'm going to ask are a lot of the listeners, the viewers, want to hear answered.
Yeah.
And if you would find out
I don't know how to share. I wish I could share my email on the radio.
Oh, no.
Tom Kuntz at house.mi.gov. Put it on there somehow, Bob.
Yeah.
And I welcome anything. Anybody who wants to talk to me. I have office hours every month. So
I know.
that'd be great.
Do you have any critics? I don't know of any critics on you. You're doing such a great
you got to get on Facebook more often if you want to see my critics.
Okay.
So
how are you handling that?
Fine.
You handling that all right?
Oh, yeah. Heck, that's part of the game. Before I did this, I was an official. I officiated for 20 seasons. Heck, I did some college hockey.
Oh, really?
You know what? You call them how you see them. If it's a ball, call it a ball. If it's a strike, you call it a strike. So
you enjoying
do the best you can and go home and hug your wife. That's
are you enjoying it as much as you did refereeing?
Say that again, please.
Are you enjoying doing what you're doing?
Yeah, it's hard to measure this job. That's my frustration is nobody got more bills through the House than I did. I got 3 good bills signed into law. Well, that's good. That's rewarding. That's a good thing to do. It's just hard. I'm going to have meetings today. You think, when I drive home at 8 o'clock tonight, I'll think, well, what did I get done? So I am enjoying it. But I miss the sport and I miss the kids. Yeah. Some of the parents, maybe not. But
oh, boy, I know.
Hey, listen.
Yeah. All right.
You got my number. Share my email. I got to run, though.
All right. See you next week. I'm going to call you.
Sounds good, Pat.
Next
Thanks,
Tuesday.
Bob.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Boy, one thing about Tom, he talks fast, but he's very accurate on everything, isn't he?
Yep.
You can hear his voice very, very well.
Yeah, he's passionate about it.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he does a nice job. And you know what? I think I'm going to make this every Tuesday just for a few minutes, spotlight on
Well, we're getting toward the campaign, so we got to be careful.
Oh, good Lord. There you go. You sound like one of those scared.
If I don't say it, there's someone out there in the lobby that will come in and tell you.
Well, this has nothing to do with campaigning. This is issues that's going on in our state capitol right now.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, what bothers me is this. If you want reform, I know lobbyists, I'd like to know how many there is and how many work in companies. Because there's a lot of them. A lot of times the state rep or state senator or congressman or whatever, when they get out of that job, they go into lobbying because there's more money in lobbying than there is in state rep. Well, what money is influence? And, I've been in the service station dealers. My dad back in the day, and then my brother John and I were, and we got to know the good thing about that is the relationships that you make with others from outside of the area. And those are lifelong friends, but you're also paying for them. And what my question is, why do we need lobbyists when we have a representative? Because that's what the representative is like. Tom, he goes to Lansing with our issues. I've never talked to a lobbyist in quite a few years now. In any of the associations I belong to, I talk to Tom. But there is that outlet that you can call your lobbyist and get what you're, whatever, if it's the horse business or if it's a gas station business or if it's a convenient business, hell, there's lobbyists. And then you got your National Federation of Independent Business lobbyists. You could go broke for all these lobbyists. And in the end result, what do we get? Pain. More taxes. No, I'm serious. Did it do you any good? I don't know. I guess that's left up to the individual. I'll drop it off there. We got Van Johnson in with me now.
Before we talk to Van, why don't we take a break here because we got to get our sponsors in.
Yep. Didn't they all drop off?
Yeah.
You mean tell me Gilbert's Carpet Plus is still in?
They hung out waiting for you.
George had a birthday. I wished him a happy birthday, and I said, George, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. Gilbert's Carpet Plus could sit there on the south end of town right next to the township building and do nothing for the community, but they do everything for the community. They're out there giving to the veterans. They have that going on every year. They help us on so many other causes in Big Rapids. Tom and George and their wives have done a great job. They just don't sit there and reap the rewards of being in business, because I tell you, it's tough being in business. And when they give big. Then I want to say thank you to Zach and Kim Wells down at Big Rapids Pennzoil. They do more than just change your oil. They'll check your car out from the front bumper to the back bumper. They'll check your tires. If you need them, they got it. They'll check their shocks, struts, brakes. They got it. Zach does the work himself. I don't even know if he has the hands anymore. He probably got an assistant, but he's one hell of a good daddy. He's got one child now, him and Missy, raising them right. Already got a shovel in his hand. I saw the kid digging the trench the other day. I'm being a liar on that one. Then if you need insurance, you got Winger Insurance. Seth's a good friend of mine. He's out of Baldwin. Baldwin's a lot of good people. That's where old Childress has all come from, the good athletes that we've had at Ferris. But anyway, Baldwin and Big Rapids, right on Perry Street next to the Chipotle's coming into the community. I see they tore the building down. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't been down there yet.
Big hole in the ground right now.
Yeah, and then you got Pierce Auto of Big Rapids, and I say Big Rapids, they got one in the township north of town. Nice, beautiful lot with over 150 vehicles. Your choice, you got it. If you want something, they got it. And if they don't have it, they can get it for you. I tell you, Steve and the company up there, longevity, they got it. His dad started it up in Paris. That's how they got their name for you historians. They started right there where Woodland Taxidermy is right now. They brought it down to Big Rapids for the convenience of the customer. Then all of a sudden, boom, they pop up at State and Maple right there on the corner at the T. Used to be my dad's White Elephant gas station there back in the 1940s. You know that, Bob?
Yep.
My dad was there in 48.
Yep.
But anyway, Steve and Company, they thought enough of Big Rapids to put another location in. For what? For convenience, more cars and trucks. If they don't have it, get it. Then you got Monk Janowitz Funeral Home. Then you got Monk, it's hard for me to talk because the hour of glass is coming closer for me and my needs. And I tell you what, right. Janowitz do a very nice job. Mm-hmm. I tell you, Melissa's been a great contribution to Big Rapids. She's given back just like Mike and his dad Ron did and Harry Rogers before that. There's a story on that one, but I'll tell it later. Monk Janowitz right here in Big Rapids, and she also has other locations. If you don't like it, Big Rapids, pick another city. She's there. Then you have Big Rapids Realty. And one of the nicest gals, we've been on vacations with Carmen and Sue Bean, integrity and honesty, and they pay their own way. They're just great people. And I tell you, whenever you ask, this has nothing really to do with Big Rapids Realty, it's got to do with the people. Whenever I've asked Carmen for a donation for buck pole or whatever it is, Sue and him jump up and say, how much do you want? I'm serious. I mean, he pops up $500 for the buck pole. Right. To do that, nobody. But Sue and Carmen, they love Big Rapids, and they've benefited. Yeah, he had a great job at Federal Screw, but he's retired now. He doesn't have to give anything, but he does. And you know what? They live in Big Rapids, and they've been here and produced 4 good girls. I mean, just all-American people. Then you got Gilbert's already talked about them. DW2. What can I say about Dale? Dale's a great guy. He's a cancer survivor, and whenever anybody has cancer, if there's a donation out there for cancer, Dale's there. And I don't want everybody out calling DW2 and asking for a donation. He'll do it. He does it. But he does a great job on drywall. His work is proof of that. Then you got the Barrington Firearms. And I'll tell you what, if the Second Amendment ever went to the wall, Casey and Cal right there in front of you, you got some 2 big guys right there, a lot of strength, very smart, very smart. You need insurance for your gun or whatever, or if you want to be insured, if you do get caught in a situation where you need a lawyer, they have an insurance program through them that you can buy, so you might want to call Barrington Firearm and Gun there. But anyway, that pretty much sums it up, except for Hooked at Curry's. I'm so proud of Ivan. He came in that gas station looking for a job, him and his girlfriend. And he's probably one of the best employees I've ever hired. And that's coming from my customers. I listen to my customers and ask them, are you taken care of? If he has a fault, he runs out of food sometimes. And I mean on the warmer there. He does a great job with his breakfast sandwiches. He makes a great panini sandwich. Anybody can make a panini sandwich. But not everybody can make a good hamburger. And I'll tell you, Ivan makes a hell of a good hamburger. So anyway, if you want something for lunch, breakfast, whatever, hopefully we're going to extend our hours coming up here this summer. We'll see how that works. But anyway, the sandwich shop's going real good. We appreciate Ivan and his crew. And being that said, on my home, word bound travels, a marquee. If you have a marquee, if you're selling ice cream like Carlene is down at Kilwins and imploring them down there in Big Rapids, she has a sign. What's that sign say? It says open, best ice cream, best chocolate, blah, blah, blah. I'm just using her for an example because she's downtown. It doesn't say help wanted. It's really sad coming home up that corridor of 77. A lot of the business you pull off on their marquee, instead of saying we have the greatest bacon burger in town, it says help wanted. This is what we can do for you, not for what you can do for us to make it for a better customer service or an experience. Help wanted. People, if you know somebody that's homeless that needs a job, get in there. Get into every place. There's jobs all over hell. Next week I'm going to ask Tom Kuntz one more thing. What are we doing with the budget for mental illness? There's a crisis going on with mental illness. These homeless people aren't homeless by wanting to be homeless. Now, some of them are making more money than Bob does at B103.9. If you want to really talk about those guys on the highway.
I should go sit out by the interstate there?
Well, you have a face for that, Bob. I'll tell you what, I might even throw $1 out at you.
Right.
But, I do feel sorry for the mental illness people. I think most of us do. But that's another subject. talked enough, Bob. You still want to take a break for our sponsors?
Well, do you need to see the facilities?
That's
usually when we take a break.
Let's take a
we'll
break.
Take a break.
Facility.
And then Van's over here, and we'll get him.
Well, Van asked. I asked Van actually to come on yesterday. He came in, and I got tickets for this meal bonus raffle thing.
Yep. Meat bundle raffle.
Meat bundle, bonus bundle, whatever the hell it is. But I told him, I says, I'd like to talk about that on my radio show because Van has been in and out of his position at the Eagles since he was about 4th grade.
Right.
He wasn't even drinking when he got elected to be president. That's how young he was. Yeah. But anyway, I applaud
Robert
him
Allen,
for that.
get you in? Is that
Well, first of all, he's done a great job with the city for many, many years. I was heartbroken when I heard that he was going to retire younger than I'm going to retire. That says a lot. But anyway, he retired, and I knew that would be a long day that day. But we got a good man, Jake Walston, stepped up in his shoes. And Jake's no dummy. Jake talks to Van a lot. I know when he needs it. But Jake's pretty seasoned now himself. Hell, he's almost ready to retire. I'll go through 2 of you guys. Yeah. Actually, 3. I went through Jack Alber. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Bob, you carry on.
Right. All right. We'll be right back. More Curries Corner on B1039.
I've known for many, many years. And I tell you what, when somebody needs some help, he's there. Just like your typical Mecosta County resident, Dale Whaley is a good American. So if you're ever looking for a drywaller for free estimate, Dale, I'm telling you're going to be happy with his work. I have recommended Dale to a lot of people, and you know what the greatest compliment I've ever gotten is thanks for sending Dale. He did a great job for me. Guy's just fantastic. Just not only is a drywaller with DW2 drywalling, but it's just a great person. It doesn't hurt to have him come into Curry's either. There's just so many good things about Dale. He's just a great American. Give him a call, DW2 Drywall at 231-679-0475. That's right, 231-679-0475. Dale Whaley is DW2 Drywall. Drywall.
Come on, Betsy. Just one more mile.
Is your car still acting like it's in the middle of a blizzard? The Spring into Something Better event going on now at Paris Auto Sales. Winter is over, and your frozen solid commute should be too. Stop apologizing to your passengers and upgrade to a ride that actually knows it's 2026. Come check us out at our north or south locations. Paris Auto Sales, your used car center of Big Rapids.
Curries Auto Sales, we work for you.
When the time comes to say goodbye, you need a funeral home that understands your family's needs. The Monk Janowitz Funeral Home in Big Rapids and the Janowitz Family Funeral Home in Remus have been a trusted part of this community for generations. They do take care of every family like their own, and they hear it time and time again.
My name is Christina Beers. I would say there's lots of funeral homes in the area, but there's only a small few that can do it with class and with quality and with that personal touch and care. And I would put Janowitz Family Funeral Home at the very top of that list.
Let them help guide you through a challenging time with care, respect, and compassion. The Monk Janowitz Funeral Home in Big Rapids and the Janowitz Family Funeral Home in Remus. Local, professional, and here for you when it matters most. The Janowitz Family Funeral Home, now also serving Lakeview and Edmore.
I'm Seth Wenger from Wenger Insurance. For more than 100 years, we've been providing professional service and competitive insurance to West Michigan. Come visit us on Perry Street in Big Rapids or give us a call at 796-0778. We're here for you now, and we'll be here when you need us most. 796-0778.
Where do you go for Michigan's #1 concealed pistol license course? The same place thousands of Michigan residents have over the past 15 years, the Barrington Firearms Training Center. The BFTC conducts state-certified CPL courses right here locally inside the Barrington Conservation Club at 418 Mile Road in Barrington. For just $99, all you need to bring us is your Michigan ID to these all-inclusive one-day CPL courses. Include the use of firearms, ammo, eye and ear protection, coffee and donuts in the morning, and lunch at noon. That's right, just $99 gets you everything needed to take the police department instructed course that includes the training necessary to safely load, unload, handle, and store your firearm. Students will also be trained on when it is legal to defend themselves with a firearm under Michigan's Stand Your Ground law and Castle Doctrine. Call 231 250-7257 or go online at michigancpltraining.com to register for one of their upcoming $99 all-inclusive CPL courses. Get armed, get trained at the Barrett Firearms Training Center.
Hooked at Curry. Hey, I want to tell you something. Their sandwiches are incredible. But get the cheeseburger with caramelized onions. You won't ask where the beef is.
My name is Drew, and I'm 6 years old, and Sue Bean is my Giga.
Giga has worked with all kinds of people, helping them find the home of their dreams.
Giga is also my grandmother. She loves working with adults who are serious about finding a piece of property that suits their needs.
Giga drives us everywhere. She's pretty sweet, but the best path she drives is getting you to the closing table.
Sue Bean, Big Rapids Realty, 231-580-9546.
That's 231-580-9546. Or email her at sbean@bigrapidsrealty.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, you found it. Big Rapids hits of the 80s and more. This is the all-new B1039.
Dale I've known for many, many years, and I tell you what, when somebody needs some help, he's there. Just like your typical Mecosta County resident, Dale Whaley is a good American. So if you're ever looking for a drywall for free estimate, call Dale. I'm telling you, you're going to be happy with his work. I have recommended Dale to a lot of people, and you know what the greatest compliment I've ever gotten is thanks for sending Dale. He did a great job for me. Guy's just fantastic. Just not only is Waller with DW2 drywalling, but it's just a great person. It doesn't hurt to have him come into Curry's either. There's just so many good things about Dale. He's just a great American, and give him a call, DW2 Drywall at 231-679-0475. That's right, 231-679-0475. Dale Whaley is DW2 Drywall. Greatest guy on drywalling end of it.
All right, here we are back
at 103.9 with a Bob Aldridge with the Curries Corner. I got Van Johnson on my left, Bob on my right. Hey, here we go. Hey, talk about that. We got the races coming up in July. I think it's on Wednesday night, second week of July. The big celebrity race. Andy Cook is in it, tree trimmer Andy. And they raised $10,200 at the St. Mary's Gala for him to race in that. Wow. St. Michael's, I think they raised about that too. St. Peter's, I think, raised over $10,000. So this year, the celebrity race and causes that they raised money for, right near, if not $40,000. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Thanks to my son, Matt Curry. He's very instrumental on that. I have nothing to do with it. It was my idea in 1999 to bring people to the fair for the cause. And I'm pretty proud of that. If nothing else I did in my life, it's helped raise a lot of money. And I don't take credit for it. I give it all to Matt. And I give it to all the old folks that used to do the infield party, which I'm not so sure we're going to have this year due to COVID. We're just catching up to COVID.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to use that for an excuse, COVID.
Yep.
But we're looking for somebody to help sponsor that. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We're still going to go on with the race and have a lot of fun. So we might take a year off from the infield party, yet to be seen, and I know on the radio station. Hi, Ron and Paulette DeVries. I want to say hello to those two because I know they're all. I hope your health is well this week, as I do everybody else. Keep the young and your prayers that are ill right now. There's so many young kids out there battling cancer or whatever, and it goes out to it. I was telling Jenna, I was reading my horse magazine, The Hoofbeats. It's a national magazine out of Columbus, Ohio. And I read the obituaries, and I was telling her, I said, I think there was only one older than me that has passed. So, just live life. Live life as best as you can. I know it's easier said than done because of the cost of groceries and gas and everything else, but money doesn't buy happiness. It truly doesn't. Just getting out and smiling, going fishing, throw a worm in the old lake and just say, hey, I can do this. No millionaire can outfish me. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Or you could do what Van's doing. He dedicates himself to the Eagles there, and he's got the big raffle coming up. The Eagles has done so much for this community. I remember years back, Karen Seitz came in to sell me a $100 ticket or whatever, and I always have supported the Eagles because they've always supported the community. And I said, what do you do with all this money? She goes, well, we're giving it to the Susan Wheatlake this year, and we're blah, blah, blah. I says, why don't you help yourself a little bit, too? You know, the Eagles' operating expenses are very expensive, and they have insurance costs and so many other. And she goes, you know, Pat, she goes, we probably should, but we love this community and what it does and what it stands for. And that's quite a statement that comes from a lot of other people. That being said, I want to just take a moment and pay tribute to two people in Big Rapids that have moved here while the one was raised here, Emily Coles, Fred Gunther's daughter. John Coles was born, I think, down in Greenville. I'm not sure. I know his dad was a Canadian because I've had him on here. Great story, John Coles. John Coles started with pretty much a dad raising him and coaching him to do what he is doing today, and that's what he's coached his kids. But anyway, I'll get off the subject here in a minute. He's behind this, what we call What's Best for Big Rapids. And he's getting a coalition of people together right now to hopefully we get in a multi-purpose building up someday. And I'd be so proud before I leave this earth to see it happen. I know there's a lot behind it. It'll take a lot of money and a lot of commitment, but we're moving forward. That being said, John and Emily have been awarded the Northern Lights Award this year. I think that's wonderful. I don't think that anybody else should have got it but them, because John's put a lot of time. You know, he's a full teacher down there in Grand Valley State, full-time father, full-time husband, and a full-time community member. So my hat's off to John and Emily. I really appreciate the people giving them that award. And I tell you what, get behind him on this multi-purpose thing. I was just in Fort Wayne the other night, and these guys had Flint, Michigan shirts on, and they were very proud of wearing those. And I had breakfast with one fella, and a hell of a nice guy. But anyway, his kid plays on this traveling basketball team. That's gotten to be a big thing. And I looked around, that hotel was full. They booked it full of kids in there to play a basketball tournament. They play them year-round. They go to Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, every weekend almost. Yeah. He said, we have 12 players, sometimes we have 7, but it's always enough to play the game. So just think what we could do for our economy in Big Rapids if we had something like that we could pull those people into Big Rapids to play. Astronomical is what the word is, astronomical. All right, man, I've had you here long enough. I apologize. You've been so patient with me. Tell us a little bit about, first of all, how long have you been an Eagle?
I've been an Eagle for 40 years now.
40 years.
Member for 40 years.
And, Van, that's off to you because, clubs are a diversified day than ever. And when I say diversified, I mean you have your person that wants
Correct.
This and this and this and this. But a club, to me, is when you take that oath, and you can expand on that oath if you want to. But if you can't speak good of a brother, you don't speak at all of him.
Correct. You don't want to say nothing. You don't want to diversify your members and make them, not, you know what I mean. It's hard to discuss that stuff.
Well, you stuck with it through the thick and thin.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of thin. There's been some great thick. You got a great club over there.
Correct.
Your hours right now, let's talk about the hours.
Well, the hours is Mondays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. We don't open until 2 o'clock. And Tuesdays we have a burger day, and that's a full menu. We open at 11 to 8 or 9. All depends on when the public comes in and what we serve. And Fridays we have the fish fry every Friday, and plus a full menu. And that's open from 11 till 8, 9 o'clock. And Saturdays, we just reopen it from noon to close. So that's the hours. And Mondays, we just started a burrito and taco night. So you can come in there and have burrito and tacos. And we have margaritas also. On that night, we just started that a week ago. So I don't have the prices with me at the moment.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
How about euchre? You have euchre tournament still?
Yeah, there's a group that used to be run by the Allers. They have, during the wintertime, they had it once a month. And I think June Swanson and a couple other ladies have taken it over, and they're having it once a month. And plus there's another group that comes in at noon at Saturdays, and they start at 1 o'clock. And I think they charge $5 a person to play euchre there on Saturday afternoons. Then the other ones come in, like I said, once a month. They schedule it. And
You do bingo?
Yeah, we have bingo on Tuesday nights. And, that starts at 6 o'clock. Bingo tickets from 5:30 to 6, then they start. And there's some prizes every week. Depends on the attendance. And we have food that night, so you can come in and have food and play bingo.
Oh, I know. I should get out there more than I do, but with the grandkids and everything, you know how that goes. But anyway, that's an excuse. But, Bob, you've been out there often. You do the bingo, don't you?
I'm one of the pair of callers. We trade off. So.
What took you into that, Bob?
I was asked.
Oh, that's nice. You like it?
Actually, we started out doing the pull tab on Wednesday nights, and actually the other bingo came and kind of shouted it out because people want to play the actual bingo. And
why should people come to Eagles, Bob? What do you see there?
It's just a fun place to go. I mean, if you like a good bar and convivial and folks having nice talks, it's there's one topic I don't hear a lot going on there, which is a good thing. Okay, I hear a lot of how you doing. It's nice to be here in Big Rapids and everything like that.
Yeah,
it doesn't get political. If it does, I don't hear it. But so everybody tries to be on a firm foundation of enjoying time with each other, and there's a lot of friendships made there. And so you got that, and of course we have the other specials. They had a chicken dinner on Saturday night. I was there for that. How did that go?
They're real good. We sold 60 dinners that night.
Wow!
On the chicken dinner.
Yep.
It ran from 5 to we sold. We got all done about 7:30. It was all gone by then. 5 to 7:30. So we had the volunteers do that whole thing. So, but I cooked the chicken, and Kevin Wood helped me, and a couple of younger States boys helped me, and the young lady come in and did dishes for us, and we had volunteers do it that night.
Well, you talk about volunteers. What if somebody says, you know what, I just moved into Big Rapids and I'm listening to Curries Corner. He never said, how do I get involved with the Eagles? How can I join the Eagles? What do I do? What's the criteria?
Well, you just have to come out to the club and ask for membership, and we'll give you an application, and then you fill it out, and we get a couple people to sponsor you. And then we take it through the meetings, and after 2 meetings, we call you in and we initiate you, and then you're an Eagle member.
You background checks? Because if they had done one on me, they'd never let me in. I'm just for say.
We have an interview committee.
Do you?
So they come in and we ask if we do it on the telephone, or we ask them to come in person, and they sit down with them and ask them questions, and then we go from there.
You get a lot of retirees that move up here that already belong to the Eagles or join the Eagles,
Correct.
Don't you?
Yep. Yes, we've had, the last few months we've had, I think, I'm not sure of the numbers, but I think it's been almost another 25 people who've joined the club.
Really?
Yep.
Retirees?
Some are retirees, some are younger. We had a couple fair students come in and joined up and stuff. The one server works there, and her boyfriend come in. He joined. Mm-hmm. He's our chaplain right now, so he's doing numbers. Yep.
So that's good. All right. So if you want more information on how to join the Eagles, just get a hold of Van at Van. You want to be an Eagle.
One thing I'll say is that the initiation fee and the dues each year, very reasonable. You wouldn't believe it. I'm not going to give the figure out. If they come over and ask, I guess that we could give it to them then. Right. But it's very affordable. And you get a beautiful facility that if you have an event coming up, they will rent out that facility to you. And they also have sponsored trips to casinos and things like that, and that's always a lot of fun, overnights. And always something going on. And,
that being said, there's something going on right now, and I think of what's going on right now, and I think of 3 people that I don't know. If these people, they outnumber everybody in the history of any club in this town selling tickets, and I'm going to name them off. The deceased Bill Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Very correct.
He was coming to the station with tickets every other month. It seemed like they had a cause going, which is, again, I sponsored and supported it because it is a good cause. Bill was very, very big on selling tickets. Sold a lot of them. Second one, I would say, is Karen Seitz.
Correct.
Karen, I know, can't please everybody like I do. Pause and laugh. I'll let the audience laugh a little bit
laughter,
there.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know, at my age, Bob, I do care if I offend somebody. And that being said, I got my fingers crossed at my age. But anyway, Karen's done a great job. She's very passionate about it and works her tail off. And then Van Johnson. Van, I think, has sold as many as Bill and Karen, the three of them anyway. I don't know who's sold the most, but you sell a lot of tickets. That being said, Bill's gone now, so that kind of hurts you. But I'm sure you found out who you're selling to. But you got a meat bundle. Is this the first one you've ever done?
Yeah, this is a meat bundle raffle. We're giving away 32 prizes. It runs from May 31st until July 1st. The first prize is going to be a freezer we're giving away. And actually, that's a two-way freezer. It actually can be converted into a refrigerator just by switching the switch. And on July 1st, for the grand prize, we're giving a Pit Boss pellet grill away. And in between time, we have 30 days of meat bundles we're giving away. And the meat is coming from Sanders Meats out of Custer. And there's multiple different bundles. They sell these bundles every day, so we got online and got them. We picked them, and we're actually giving away 30 days worth of meat. And each day, the meat bundle is worth $300 a day.
Wow.
And the tickets are only $25.
Wow.
And Pat is selling those tickets for us, and so is Doug and Roxanne down at Zott. So if you have lunch down there, stop in and talk to Roxanne.
Right.
And actually, Jason up to JR Customs up there has got some tickets. Wants to sell them for us for a little bit.
Well, good for them.
Yeah. And I'm all over doing it. And there's members selling tickets. So if you see a member, just ask them. If you don't know a member, just drive out to the club and walk in, and then you can get one from the server they have them right behind the bar, or whatever you like to do with them. So we wish you would participate. And that case, you don't forget about all the rest of the clubs that we have in Big Rapids. And you've got a big deal going this weekend at the Elks. They got a cash bash, and plus you got the Derby, Kentucky Derby Saturday, and the Eagles have something there, and the has something going on in the AmVets, and I'm sure the Eagles in Stanwood has something going on. And plus you have the VFW Hall in Morley might be doing something. So you got several clubs in Cost County there, a lot of participation around, a lot of clubs to join. So thank you.
Yeah, you know, and people think this is just money that the club keeps, and
no.
That's not the case at all. You know, the only way we can help benefit charities of the choice, or a person that you want to help out with gas cards or whatever. I know Karen's done that a lot over the year. I shouldn't say Karen. The Eagles have a distributed.
Gas cards.
God, I'm getting tired.
Hey, you know, it was a long drive.
Gas cards over the years, done a great job there, but I'm real, Bob. Everybody makes mistakes.
That's it. You know, we could always go back and edit.
And get a direction.
Fix it in post.
But anyway, this here's a good deal. It fills tummies up for $25. You get $300 every day for how many days? 31?
30 days. Then you have the other two prizes, the grand prize and the first prize.
Wow, yeah, that's great. So you can buy tickets at Curry's, JR Customs, you said?
And Zott's.
Zott's Bar. Can't beat Zott's Bar. I got a hat right here. I'll put it on for you. You can buy that at Zott's Bar for, I think, $25.
Right.
And all the money that goes to that goes to Zott's Bar. So there you go. Anyway, man, we got a little bit here left. If you want to talk a little bit about that, you heard Tom Kuntz on what's going on down in Lansing.
Right.
Roads. You know, it's frustrating because I know you've been a road man your whole life. You worked for Morning Stars on the roads. You worked on the city roads. You've done the best you can. You put lines in, water mains, and people call up and say, my line's frozen. I know over the years you'd go out and dig it up 2 a.m. if you had to help people out. You've been very good that way. Now you've been elected by the people of Mecosta County. You've been a commissioner for what?
I'm on my third term right now.
So 12 years?
Yeah, I've been going over. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I know you bring a lot to that. I know it's a county road instead of a city road, but still, it's a road. What happens to a road that all of a sudden you'll be driving down a road and all of a sudden there's a hole in the road? What happened to that where it didn't all crumble up and all get all holes? I know there's a lot of them, but what creates a pothole? Can you explain that to the people?
Well, the potholes most of the time is that you have the different seasons in Michigan, and that's what happens. Well, when you redo a road, you put new blacktop down, and we maintain it with crack seal and the Fox seal and stuff like that. But if you have one crack there and it gets the water down in it and it freezes, and then when it starts to thaw, it's really, the roads are really susceptible in the springtime, and that's what causes the potholes. And you know, if the road gets too far deteriorated, that's what happens, and the whole road goes out. And then when you start to rebuild the road, you crush and shape it and start over again. But nowadays, when we do it, usually they'll last anywhere from 15 to 20 years down the road. And we have everything in the county right now on a 5-year project, 5-year plan. And we work with the townships, and they work with us, and then we send the guys out. We fill potholes, but most of the time it's the frost and the thawing in the spring that causes the potholes. So
like when you build a road, because some roads don't have potholes in them.
Correct.
Like 19 Mile Road, that's a pretty good road, ain't it?
Real good road. Yep, we overlaid that. Then 2 years, 2 years after that, we did the fog seal on it. So actually, the fog seal protects the pavement from deteriorating. The sun has a lot to do in the summertime with the heat of the blacktop, and it will deteriorate it, and that's when you see it changes color so much after they redo it. It's really black first, and in a couple of years it starts to tan out. And then it's when we start fog sealing them, and we crack seal them on top of that or below it, and seal up the cracks before we do it. And it's a maintenance thing.
I was really intrigued by Freddie Meyer's company. Mm-hmm. When the county, township, or whoever you want to give credit to, when they did West Avenue, I live on West Avenue. When they did that, mm-hmm. Freddie and his brothers were out there at 10 o'clock at night watering, put tons of water on that base that they put down. I don't know, sand, gravel, or I guess it'd be gravel, wouldn't it be the base?
Yeah, gravel, because they were, plus they're probably, when they get the dust control down, and it tightens it up, and they pack it and compress, compact it and stuff, and it helps the road a lot. But
well, I know that when they did that road, to this day, there's no potholes in it.
Correct.
So the base is probably more important than the top layer.
Right. You got to have a good solid base underneath.
They rolled that, and they watered it and rolled it and watered it, and to this day, and it's crowned pretty nice too.
Correct.
The water sheds up. That's very important, ain't it?
Right. You got to get the water off the roads off to the side.
So if they don't do that, is that part of the reason you have potholes?
Correct. You got the water laying there, and it just keeps, the car goes over it, and it beats it into the blacktop. And it starts deteriorating, weakens it out.
So how do we get these guys that build these roads to maybe crown them a little bit better, and then we wouldn't have this problem? I'm telling you, I watched it out there, and I thought, now you will see how long this lasts.
Right.
My God, I tell you, that road, and it gets some heavy traffic. I see trucks going, tractors, farm tractors, and loads of hay go up and down it, and that ain't a Class A road.
No, it's not.
But it has the trucks going over it with Class A weight.
Correct.
My hat's off to Freddie Myers. Little plug for them. Maybe they'll start advertising here a little bit.
There you go.
They do nice work, don't they? How do you depend, or who does, do you let that out for bid, or does the contractor do that?
No, we let all the roads out for bid when we do a road. That goes out for bids. So how it's done.
Yeah, Reese Riley mostly does most of it, and they've always done a good job. That being said, there is different grades of asphalt, isn't there?
Oh, there's multiple. Depends they have out there. It all depends what they There's several of them. There's so many you can't even tell which ones they are.
Because like when I did my parking lot that I had to pay for, I was hoping to get city to help me on it, but no. But Dale did it.
Correct. He does a real nice job.
Oh God, he did a beautiful. And he told me at that time, Pat, tell Chad, which is up in Reese Riley, that you want the highway grade asphalt. I said I didn't know there was a difference in grade. Oh yeah, big time. He says it's going to cost you a few $1,000s more, but over the long run, it's cheaper. And to this day, I don't know how many years ago he did that parking lot. He did it in 2 stages.
Correct.
But God, that's nice, a nice road. And I got cement trucks go over that, and it's held up really well. But on top of that, he did a nice job on the base, didn't he? But that top layer does make a difference in how many inches.
Right. I don't know how much he put in.
I think 3 inches.
Yeah, that's a good base right there. That's a good top coat, and everything. So,
yeah. What does the city use? How many inches they put down?
Well, it all depends. Sometimes it's 2.5 to 3 inches. Most of the time you do 2 layers when you put it down.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you'll go 1.5 inches at a time, then they roll it and stuff, and you took compaction, and you come back with another 1.5 inches back on top of it. So that helps the blacktop to get their compaction and stay and last longer. So
you heard Tom say Mecosta County got an extra $3 million this year.
I think we're going to $3 million this year. I think it's going to if everything goes out correctly, it's going to be possibly in 27 we'll get the whole $3 million.
What will that do for us as a county?
Well, it's going to help us out a lot, to work more with the townships and, work on the local roads.
How do you dictate who gets the road and paving? Does that township comes to you and pleads with you and say, we need this one done right away or this one repaired, or how's that work?
Well, they come into the meetings and stuff like that. Well, actually, in the fall, we send out papers to each township so they can send back the projects they want to do. And they come in when we try to share costs with them as much as we can with every township that comes in, and that's how we do it. And we have all our roads on a 5-year plan of what we do. Then we continue on to keep working around the whole county for all the roads. So last year, we did some more roads over on the east side of the county. We did and we did quite a few on this side. We redid them and everything.
Now, is it all about population?
That's what the money comes in. It's all about population, Mecosta County. That's how we're getting the money from the.
Somebody said at one time, like Big Rapids Township, or actually Morton Township, has the most populated area.
Right.
So they would get more money spent out there. It used to be that way because they were paying more taxes on it.
No, I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
No, that's not the case.
Okay.
No, and plus if I remember right, we have 5 townships in Mecosta County that has a road tax.
Oh, really? There's 5 of them now?
I'm pretty sure there's 5.
Oh,
well, see, the property taxes don't do anything for the roads. We don't get no money from the property taxes at all.
Right.
And, we get it from the gas tax, and we get some for the registrations. But, and we get a lot of, like I say, in all the townships, they work with us, and they come in and they ask for more help, and we do the best we can with the funds we have, plus all the maintenance funds we have to keep going. Our fog seals and crack seals, and
your crack seals is like a rubber base.
It's a rubber product that goes down over the cracks. What they do is they blow the dirt and stuff out of it, then they crack seal over top of it, and that fog seal does the whole road. What they'll do is they'll put the tar down, then they'll put the stone down, and they'll let that they'll have the cars run out for a while. Then they'll come in and get rid of the excess off the edges, and then they'll come back and they'll put the other top layer on it. I know that people drive on it and they get little stuff on their cars, but they just have to take a little time going down it and it won't splatter all over their cars. But
that's turned out pretty good, hasn't it?
Yeah, it works pretty good. Like I said, that protects the blacktop.
Yeah,
it's a maintenance thing.
Yeah.
So
I think they did that to West Avenue.
Yep.
That's another reason it's held up so well.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's nothing to do with population. It's you guys go out and patrol.
The guys at the superintendent and manager, they all work together over there. We got 3 foremans and the superintendent, plus we got, they take care of the roads really well over there. They look at everything, and they have, people call in, and we try to get to them as quick as we can about filling holes and take care of washouts and all that stuff. So sometimes it just takes a little time to get there. So
when you touched on sun, I know I don't mean this being rude or anything, but tree huggers. I love trees too.
Right.
But you have to admit though, where the trees are over the roads, they seem to tend to really fall apart quicker, don't they?
Well, because the road never dries up. Yeah. It dries out because of all the moisture there. I know we all need trees.
I know.
But it'd be nice that sometimes on the edge of the roads that we can get them back farther, because that way if the sun gets more to the road quicker, it dries out, and especially it helps in the wintertime to melt the ice and the snow off them quicker. Because every time you come where the trees are, the hills are, you want to pay attention because there's going to be more ice in there, and that's when most of the time they kind of slide off the road, and it's hard to get salt and sand on every spot in the whole county, or even in the city too. When it happens, So,
what made you want to be on that board?
Oh, I seen it was another experience to try, because I was, getting up there and I'm getting my close to years I was going to retire eventually, but I don't know. I wanted to venture out a little bit, try something different, learn, because it's been a learning process at the road commission for me, because all I ever dealt was with the city, and the county's a whole lot bigger area, and it's a learning curve, for what's going on at the road commission. So I tried it, and I got elected, and I've been there since. So,
I look at our generation, and someday I'd like to write a book, but I don't know if I ever will do it. But our generation grew up in a sandbox. Mm-hmm. And when I say a sandbox, I mean we grew up in a sandbox, literally a sandbox. Learned how to take the little excavator or the tractor or bale hay or whatever out in the grass. Then we learned how to play baseball. And then right during baseball, we found summer jobs because our folks didn't give us allowance. We had to make our own money.
Correct.
So the education in our life was, we had some great teachers, don't get me wrong. I mean, Mrs. Miller in kindergarten showed me how to lay my rug out and lay on it the proper way, keep my mouth shut, taught me discipline, a little more respect. Then I got in high school and I learned another educated part there too. It was called keep your mouth shut and abide by the law. But we had different growing up than these kids do today, and I feel kind of sorry for them. And so our main goal was to stay alive, not just with health, but financially too. Nobody's going to give it to us. If we was due a raise, the boss gave you a raise. We never asked for one because we realized maybe we weren't doing the job.
Correct.
But anyway, as we get older, we live within our means. Most of us do anyway. And then the final grand prize comes up. It's called retirement. And then you think, wow, I get to retire and enjoy for everything I worked for. And then when you really look back at it, it's not that gravy. The gravy's not there when you retire.
No.
All of a sudden you find out that maybe, what do I do now? I mean, I've worked life since I grew up in the sandbox to what I've got now at the age of 60, 70, whenever you retire. You need something. You got to have something. And the reason I'm saying that is you had to have something else to do. You couldn't retire. You went to work for Morning Stars a little bit. You couldn't get up in the morning and just say, I'm going to go fishing again today. You can't fish 7 days a week.
No, you can't.
And you can't hunt 7 days a week. So, like me, it's really hard for me. I really enjoyed Dom and let me come on the radio. They asked me to do a 15-minute show, and now it's an hour and a half or more. And it ain't all about me, but I love the life stories of people, and I love talking to people. But one thing I get is they all need a purpose, and you'll go into depression if you don't have one.
Sure.
And I really think that's true. I think normal people can get depressed. It's a mental illness. It's in your body, but you don't have to get depressed if you have a mission.
Right.
And a goal. You never want to, if you reach one goal, make another one. It's just like our football team at Ferris State University. Dr. Pink up there and Tony Anise, what a commitment those guys have done for Big Rapids and Ferris. I don't know if all of us realize what they've done for us. I was down in Florida, sitting there at Beal's department store, and these two guys walked in and sat next to me. We get to talking. One's from Maine, one's from New Hampshire. I visited both states. I love them. And they looked at me, where are you from? I said, Michigan, small town of Big Rapids. And one guy said, you got a hell of a football team, don't you? They knew Ferris State. They knew Big Rapids because of the national attention we got from a Trinidad quarterback that went to Ole Miss down there and what he's done for us. But Tony Anise brought that guy here, and now the trickle down, the recognition we're getting, wow, my head got big. I said, oh, yeah. And they said, do you know that coach? I said, I know him real well. And what makes him better than everybody else? I said, well, I'll tell you what the one word is that every player that's ever played for him will say one word about Coach Anise. And they said, what's that? He cares. He cares about you. More than winning championships, he cares. And by that being said, he builds championships. Yeah. And he's got 4 of the last 5 years under his belt. I tell you, that's mind-boggling. I read the paper, and Tony says today's paper, I think we're going to be pretty good. He doesn't brag about how good he is. He thinks we're going to be pretty good. Well, he is good.
Right.
And, like Scheibe and I were talking this morning, Bill, and Bill just shakes his head, and I said, Bill, did you ever think you'd live through the 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000 and end up being at the end of your life having 4 rings? Nope. Yeah. I don't think anybody realized what was going to happen in the future. That being said, when you're down and out, there's always that future, and you got to believe that there's a better future for you. And that's what Americans got to do today, I think, anyway. You got to, if you're in a bad spot right now and thinking about getting a little bit depressed, think about the future. It can be better. Tony Anise has made people's futures better. Look at how many players he's made. If he wouldn't have been coaching, somebody else would have been coaching. Trinidad might never. He might be working in a gas station like I did for the last 50 years. That ain't all that bad. I've had a lot of fun in the gas station. God's been good to me. But anyway, I'm rambling on. I love life. I've loved everybody in it that's been in it. And Van, you're one of them. I love your story. We didn't get to talk about your life a lot. But, you overcame. Right. You overcame a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't realize what you did because you didn't have time to realize what you did. Right. But you're still doing it, like your bundle of meat here, raffle. Van Johnson doesn't have to do this.
But I've got a lot of people helping me on that.
Well, I know you do. Let's
not just me. Right?
Who's all doing it?
Well, Kim Wells is helping, and I got Kevin Woods and Shelley Hallman and Troy Hallman, and we're all got a committee, and Robert Allen, and we had 6-person committee, and so we decided to do this. We did the gun raffle through Casey here last fall, and we'll probably do that again, maybe this fall, see how it works out, and we'll go from there and just try and do fundraisers for the club to take care of the bills and everything and keep everything improved out there. Try to. Yeah, we have we also have a nice patio out there too, with patio furniture out there was done, and that was Dan and Gretchen Spadowski got that for us. So
yeah, Dan did a lot over there.
Yep, he did. Him and Gretchen both did. So,
yes, they did.
So.
Well, Bob Allen.
Yep.
Every time you see him,
smiles. He always smiles.
Yeah. And I said, Bob, if everybody was like you, the world would be a better place.
Right.
My God, that man, and he'll start laughing. I love the guy. What? And then his post on Facebook.
Yep.
Good morning, everyone.
Correct.
Start your morning with the flowers in your hand.
There you go.
Why not? Right, Bob? Yeah. You know Bob, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Great guy. Cleans houses.
Yep.
Cleans houses.
Yep.
He works for a lot of people. He does a great job. Everybody likes him.
I imagine.
I wish I had his social.
Yeah,
he's a social butterfly.
Well, if there's a little bit of argument someplace, instead of words, he'll start laughing.
Yeah.
And then you think to yourself, those people ought to feel like fools.
Right.
Why be better?
Right.
Be lovable. Be like Bob. I mean, if everybody, but we're not that way. Not everybody's that way. I am. I'm one of the greatest laughers in the whole world. Todd Eichler actually.
I have one job is to say WBZX Big Rapids.
Todd Eichler's got the best laugh. I tell my wife, not the only reason I go into Zots is not just because of their cold beer or Roxanne's conversations or the great hat that they have down there that you can buy, but I go in there to laugh. And you can be a little down. I'm not saying I am a little bit down now and then, but if I am, I go in there. If Todd's van's there, I'll stop. All I have to do is look at Todd Eichler, and he'll start laughing, and it's continuous laugh. And I laugh like hell because he's got the most unique laugh. I know everybody's getting tired of me talking. But anyway, I love Big Rapids. I've been blessed with Big Rapids. And that being said, if you're got an extra $25 you want to gamble on getting some good meat from Sanders Meats, and they're one of the best up in Tustin, I believe.
And actually, the drawing, it goes off the evening 3-digit lottery. So when you get your 3 numbers on it, so that runs on the night, and you can win multiple times, and many times as that number comes up that month, you win.
Whoa, there you go.
And when you go to when you call over to Sanders to get your meat, you cut it fresh that morning. That's what they've told me they'll do for us.
Is there any whiteout? Now here I am thinking, whiteout over the numbers. I can put that my number back in there. 213. Okay, that 2 from a 7 to a 2. No,
so
people don't do that.
No.
All right, so once again, you can get them at Curries, Amico. You can get them at the Eagles out in Chippewa Lake Road, right across from Chuck and Murdy's Auto Center. And then you can get it at JR Customs.
And Zots
Bar and Pennzoil or no?
I think Kim's got some. I think not at Pennzoil. There's none at Pennzoil.
Oh, Kim Wells has got it.
Right.
So, okay, yeah. So that's good. You got great people there at the Eagles. So
or you can come tonight and play bingo.
There you go. Buy one right there. Yeah, have a good time. Yeah, it'll be great.
We're not calling tonight. We call next week. But
once again, I'm going to close in this. Thank you, John Coles and Emily Coles, for what you do in Big Rapids. We love you, and we're so happy that you got the Northern Lights. All the other awards you've gotten from Big Rapids in the area. And then tomorrow on Curry's Sports League there, Hot Stove League, we got the famous Kurt Ray coming on. Kurt's a soccer coach, the girls' soccer coach from Big Rapids High here. He's going to bring some of his talent in here with him. I think they're on an undefeated season right now, aren't they, Bob?
I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow.
I doubt it. But I hope they are. I know he does. He's very passionate about his job. He's quite a serious man, so we're going to get him on here. Hopefully he doesn't smell. Otherwise, you're going to have to turn the fan on.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, hopefully. I love him.
I'm usually the one in charge of that.
All right, there you go. Hey, by the way, everything looks nice in here today.
Thanks.
Thank you. Well, God bless America. Thank you, Van. Any last word?
All set. Thank you very much for inviting me.
All right. God bless.
Come on, Betsy. Just one more mile. Is your car still acting like it's in the middle of a blizzard? The Spring into Something Better event going on now at Paris Auto Sales. Winter is over, and your frozen solid commute should be too. Stop apologizing to your passengers and upgrade to a ride that actually knows it's 2026. Come check us out at our north or south locations. Paris Auto Sales, your used car center of Big Rapids.
Paris Auto Sales, we work for you.
Curries Corner, brought to you by Dick Curries, Susan Bean at Big Rapids Realty, Big Rapids Pennzoil and Auto Repair, Seth Winger at the Winger Insurance Agency, Barrington Firearms and Training Center, DW2 Drywall, Gilbert's Carpets plus Color Tile, the Monk Janowitz Funeral Home in Big Rapids, and the Janowitz Family